chat with Jean-Luc and
Nick.
That's him.
Yes, that's me. So you want to get now you can keep going what you're saying.
Excellent. Well, no, I was just saying that right before we went live, where I was just saying how this week is a busier week at work for me. And I cannot believe that we're already in the second week of June. Today is June 9th. I remember, and I'm not going to lie, I remember 4 months ago of us talking about, so what are we going to be doing in June? Like, honestly, and now it's actually here.
Or there's 3 Rustic Mamas this spring.
And now we're down to our last one. We've already done 2 out of the 3, and we're heading to the next one this coming weekend. So
I'm pretty sure we'll turn around and it'll be the new year.
I don't want to do that yet. I just want to enjoy the summer.
I know, but that's the way it always goes.
I know.
So first, a few quick announcements. So for those of you who just saw, we are coming to Windsor on June 22nd.
We are sorry for the last minute notice. It was one of those things that just kind of happened today.
I won't lie, we've just finished. These are our last weekends available. Yeah. So we fit in everything else. And like, hey, the last slots, we go to family.
Go see mom and family.
So these are our last final slots. So even some people don't know that we're leaving yet. So we have Caicos and Saba. So we're gonna reach out to some. Hopefully, look and help us. And if not, we're gonna hire someone. But
Lynn's waving.
And we're gonna add that to our calendar so you guys can see it. Our kitty sitters, our friends who are so nice to watch Caicos and Saba when we are away. We are so grateful.
And again, we reiterate this. The reason why it's not like we're like obsessed people that go, oh my God, our cats can't be left alone for a weekend. No, just to remind people who might not know this, Caicos is diabetic and needs to have shots twice a day. So that's the only reason why, we want to take care of him. And he's healthy, happy, and we want that to keep going.
And apparently he snuggles with everyone that visits. So he gives as much love back to those who babysit him. He apparently sleeps with them.
They get more snuggles than I do.
Yeah, so they get the love back. So Caicos is definitely shows love to everyone out there. So that's one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. We're also doing a walk in Toronto on July 14th at 10 a.m. at the Moccasin Trail Park. It's near the 401 and the 404. So that's the intersection that's nearest to that. So if you're interested, just go to our website, jeanlucandnick.com to RSVP.
It's a really nice walk, nice park. So if you are available, I would recommend coming to join. We've done it before. We really enjoyed it.
For those of you who are in the West, we're coming in on our West Coast tour. Our newsletter today had all the RSVP links. So if you are on the West Coast, in any of the cities, Winnipeg, Regina, Saskatoon, Calgary, Vancouver, or Victoria, please go to our website and RSVP to come.
And isn't Calgary? We're still looking for a.
Yes, we're still.
So we had 3 people. If you're watching, 3 people from Calgary, reach out to us. We have a favor to ask.
Well, I'll see their answers because it's I asked the questions.
I'd be silly.
So that's that. And the other thing is, yes, we will have a word of the day. So if you're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you're watching live, join us in Zoom because you can get a word of the day to be able to get an entry into our summer contest where we will be giving away prizes at the end of the summer. And we're already, we got socks in the mind now. We have socks on our mind.
Maybe some socks only in this pride pack.
Yeah.
No lie. I tried on a pair of I tried on a pair of sports socks because we were supposed to go out this afternoon. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy a new pair. They were freaking awesome. I took them off because now we stayed home.
Yes.
But they were awesome.
But we still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was still a fun,
Oh my God, yes. The last 2 days,
we
had so much fun. We talked about it this morning in our morning show before we did step. So if you want an update on the weekend, as far as what happened Friday, Saturday, us going to bed at 6:30 p.m. last night, because we were supposed to walk. We walked a 5K for the walk for women, right? We did that. Well, let's just say we added another 11K to that just in the city of Toronto yesterday.
I have an app. It's called Step Up. It's right there. It looks like this.
I have that one still.
Right there, Step Up. And yesterday, I got a message on that app that says, let me close that. That said, everybody's registering the classes. I just saw Donna's name come up. There's Sally. There's Louise. So it says right there, wow. There's someone else again, Louise. Wow, you're in the 1%, top 1% of walkers in Canada yesterday. So we walked a lot yesterday, and we still taught step this morning.
We did. We almost canceled, but we did not.
Almost canceled, but
we were also supposed to go out to a club last night and at 11:30. After we went to bed at 6:30,
I slept 15 hours
and woke up at 11:30 last night from my nap. I was like, there ain't no way I'm going to any club at 11:30 at night.
Exactly.
No way.
No, and he didn't wake me up. He didn't wake me up either.
Nick will post that in the group, the name of the app in the group, if you're interested.
Yes, if you're interested in that app. It's called Step Up, but I'll share it in the group later for those of you who need it.
So Let's go ahead and bring on tonight's topic. I think
Yeah.
that's exactly what a lot of people are here for. And we are so happy that this topic was actually brought to us by one of our followers. We're not going to say names because we don't want to put anybody they feel on the spot, but they did allow us to say that they shared an email with us about a situation that happened with them. And you know what? We thought it was a great topic, and it's about,
And I want to just, before you start the topic, I want to say thank you for everyone who
yes,
posted,
others.
because we have topics now all the way to July. We have topics for almost every session. We have different talks. So keep sending those suggestions, because we are actually able to now put topics together for you guys based on your suggestions. And that's what we want to do. We don't want to be up here going, la, la, la.
Yeah.
We love pancakes, 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 pancakes. You guys like, I like crepes. And then it's like, doesn't work. If we talk about pancakes, you guys like crepes, it's just not going to work out. So the more you tell us of the content you want, the better it'll be.
Exactly. So back to tonight's topic. We're going to talk about fat shaming a little bit. Fat shaming, weight shaming, all that kind of stuff. Because you know what? It is a topic that's out there. It's been predominant for years. It's never really gone away.
It seems it's the easy way out for comedy as well.
Yeah.
It's like, it's still the one venture that it's still okay to make fun of big people.
And both
right?
ways, though.
Yeah.
Like where a small person will make fun of big people, but then big people will make fun of themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's an easy way out,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So fat shaming, naturally, what does it impact? How does it impact you on a daily basis? It impacts your mental health, right? So it really creates low self-esteem. You're constantly criticizing yourself about your weight, which also ends up leading to feeling inadequate. And then it also you end up feeling worthless. You have you're worth nothing. You're worthlessness, right?
Your self-esteem.
Your self-esteem is done. Your anxiety and your depression end up going skyrocketing, right? You are, you know what? You're feeling ridiculed, and you're feeling like you have to, live to what the expectation of what a perfect body or a perfect weight is supposed to be, which then leads into eating disorders. Fat shaming also contributes to developing like binge eating and also either bulimia or anorexia, even to that point, right?
A lot of our reaction to the way we eat and the way we treat our bodies is based a lot on how people treat us or how we perceive society is treating us. If all of us were in an area where all of us were treated equal, or none of us were ridiculed for any of our changes or differences, I'm pretty sure most of us would not have an eating disorder. I think a lot of us would be actually fine, because a lot of it is into the fact that society has taught us that, first of all, what's the biggest way you celebrate? With food.
Yeah.
Biggest way you go through something sad, it's food.
Yeah.
But yet, on the other hand,
what's the way to a man's stomach?
It's food. But then on the other hand, once you gain too much weight, it's like, oh my God, you put on too much. You need
How dare you
now you
eat
need
so
to lose
much.
weight. You can't eat so much. It's like you're being bombarded with one message on one end, and then the other end you're getting the other message. It's like, which one are you supposed to follow?
That whole damned if you do, damned if you don't analogy really comes into play there.
And that really affects your psyche. It really affects how you feel about yourself, because like when you consciously see messaging out there all the time that's saying what you look like or how you are reacting is not the norm or is not the right way, that's when you start feeling like, oh, am I abnormal?
Right.
And I think as two guys that are gay, like, I'll be honest,
we are.
Oh, shocker! Message of the night. Now, Jean-Luc, you're gay. Ding, ding, ding. Neon signs. Okay.
I just like rainbows.
So growing up being gay was the kind of the same thing. You didn't want to come out of the closet, because one of the reasons you don't want to come out is because people out there won't like you. Your family might disown you. You might have issues. And it's the same thing with anything having to do with the way you look at yourself. If society's telling you you're looking in a bad way, or what you're showing is not what society deems normal, then you're going to start feeling I'm not normal.
Well,
I'm not appreciated. People won't like me.
Definitely. So it also, not only does it have an effect on your mental health, but it has an effect on your physical health. We already talked about, the eating disorders that it can cause. Then that becomes a physical thing. Eating disorders are mental thing, but they are also intertwined in physical, because the more you start following into those eating disorder habits, you're hurting the inside of your body more and more, right? It also brings in negative body image, right? By thinking that you're either too fat and you're not feeling well. And there is something not only called fat shaming that I want to mention, but weight shaming, because as much as we hate to say this, there are people out there who have been dying to gain weight for years and have not been able to. And I want to say that because guess what? There's both ends of the spectrum. And so for those of us who've struggled with being overweight our entire life, think of it being the opposite perspective, where people have been shamed for saying, oh, you're anorexic, you don't eat enough, you don't do this, but yet they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing and they still can't gain that weight. But we can't relate to that in the same way. But really, there are a lot of similarities there that we tend to forget. Okay. So I don't want anyone to think that we're not looking at both perspectives. Okay. Thinking of the end up misusing of alcohol, where we start bringing alcohol into as a medication and a way to cope with how we're feeling, right? Not really coping with it, but masking it. Same with bringing in any type of medication to mask the way we're feeling and not really facing the issue at hand, right? Which then creates chronic illness. So all the stresses that are related to this whole concept of fat shaming or weight shaming, and then how it really just worsens into chronic health conditions, right? And it's so funny how that one little thing leads to so many other things, and we don't think of it that way, right? We don't think of all of this shaming that I had in the past may have led to some of these chronic illnesses that I have today. So, what we want to talk about more than the actual fat shaming is how to combat it, how to handle it, how to manage it. Because that's what we need to do as humans. One of the things that I told Nick the other day as this topic was brought to us, because it was brought to us by an email, and I'm just going to give you a general concept of what the email was about. It was basically someone who went into the doctor's office, was fat shamed in their own doctor's office by their physician by being told that they should be taking medication to lose weight. Okay. I hate when that's the situation happens, especially with a medical profession, because as human beings, we are going into doctors and we trust them. We're telling them we're having issues. And I'll say this, medication isn't always the best solution. Thank you for that word, hon. It's not always the solution for all of us. I'm not going to say maybe it's not something that could help, because in the end, sometimes you do have to say, okay, I've tried absolutely everything, and maybe I need to try this one step. Yes, it's not always what we want to do, but I think it's great for you to stand up for yourself. First things first. We as individuals, even to our health care professionals, we have to be strong enough and say, you know what? I don't think I'm ready for that yet. But how do you do that? How do you do that to a medical professional? You educate yourself. You need to be educated about this stuff. You need to go in and say, okay, I don't want to go do this medication because I heard of this side effect, this. That's one way of doing it. Go in and say, you know what? I'm not mentally ready to do that. Are you able to help me and guide me in a different direction? I'm not saying that I'm putting this off the table. I'm not saying that I might not go there, but I'd rather try something else. Allowing them to be able to maybe once again, right? We make these assumptions as human beings that people are there to not harm us, but they are insulting us, but they're actually not. Or they're shaming us and they're actually not.
And some people just don't have bedside manner.
100%.
So I've had a situation in the past.
Oh, I
was
was angry
at the doctor's, and the way
emergency
room, the way the doctor spoke to me was not very nice. And so it kind of affected me a bit then, because I was,
well, you were so out of it that I think it affected me more than it affected him, because he was on IV, he's in the emergency room, he wasn't feeling well, and the doctor said, well, you kind of know you are a little bit overweight, so maybe you should start thinking about losing weight first.
Which is like, I know.
Is that really what you want to hear when you're not feeling good? I get, we
Society
understand.
tells me every day that I need to lose weight. You don't need to tell it to me that way. It's like even today, we actually got a comment yesterday on YouTube that said, the comment was, you guys look a little bit rounder. Is it time for keto? Is it time for keto? And that's someone said on our actual YouTube channel. Even people who follow us online still say things like this, and they think this is okay to say to people. You think that that's a nice comment. Like sometimes a lot of times you have to sit back and just take note and be the bigger person in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we did respond back. We did say something back saying, we don't care about a number on a scale anymore. We're not looking to be a certain size or a certain look, a certain way that society is telling us. We're trying to be healthy all the time, and that's what we're trying to do. And that's basically how I answered the message. And I just left it at that because I could have taken it a bit further. I could have screenshotted it and put it on all social media. Like, look at this person, what they said to us, and then all of you guys would have attacked this person. I could have easily done that.
But what's that going to do?
Easily done that, and so many times we can hide stuff because we don't want that to happen. It's not, what happens when that happens? It just starts a mud war with everybody, and it never turns out right for anybody in the party. That's why we're so about positivity, and that's why even with fat shaming, sometimes you have to sit back and just go close your eyes and go to your beautiful place, the place that brings you joy. So for me, it's a put-in stand, surrounded by a
I love how
put-ins.
shaming brings them to a
that's because that's my happy place.
Hey.
So I forget what the person says, and they become like a voice from Charlie Brown. Wah 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 wah. Because you know what? That voice to you, you don't know how they were taught how to speak to people. Every society, every culture interacts differently with different people. And so you can't also assume that this person is telling you this comment in a negative way. It could also because that's how they were taught to speak to people. And they were never taught a different way because they're a doctor. No one's going to stand up to them. And I'm not telling you to stand up to them. I'm just saying, think of the situation you're in. Is it worth you being angry in that situation? What are you going to accomplish by getting angry at that person?
And I'm going to even add this, especially when it comes to the medical profession. When you go to your doctor, and this is a little bit off topic, but you go to your doctor and they tell you you're diagnosed with either diabetes or some kind of illness. Do we not at sometimes say, I want a second opinion, and we go see somebody else? Why don't we do that with a doctor that tells us we need to lose weight?
Or in a certain way that they
promote to you.
Maybe you want to
just say, oh, thanks for that opinion, and go see somebody else. What's stopping us from doing that?
And we don't want to shame anyone.
No.
We believe anyone. We are a community that supports any journey you're on.
Yeah. So if you are on any type of weight loss medication, we are encouraging you. We are supporting you. We are cheerleading you on.
Yeah.
But not everybody wants to go down that route. And there's nothing wrong if you do. Okay. We want to make sure you understand that. Because even if you do, look at that. It might not be weight shaming, but right now there is this medication shaming that's happening out there as well now. Right?
There is.
It is happening out there. We want to make sure that in this community, we're not doing it to anyone. Exactly. We want everyone to feel accepted for what they decide works for them.
So point number 2 of how to combat weight shaming was self-awareness.
Yes,
talk about that. It's about, realizing, first of all, where's this person coming from? Am I taking the words, what they're saying in a certain way because I'm feeling a certain way? Is it really are they really being beep and asshole to me? Am I okay to sit in here taking the time to breathe in, go to my happy place and let it go? All these things is where your self-awareness comes in. And I can't explain to you guys or to you ladies, because ladies,
there's some guys out there.
There's some guys out there, but there's ladies in front of me right now.
I know there's husbands out there listening behind the ladies.
So for those of you out there, the amount of time that things turn out better for us by taking a negative situation and turning into a positive one, the outcomes are always 75% of the time better
even
than the outcomes.
Yep.
So when we used to get angry at a situation, we rarely got help or any assistance in terms of how people would help us out in whatever situation we're in. But when we change that narrative, if we show up at a counter and someone's rude to us and we're having a stressful day, like maybe that person's also having a stressful day.
Yep.
And so we try our hardest. It doesn't always succeed.
No.
That's why I said most of the time, but we try our best to be the kindest we can all the time. And I know it's hard. It's not easy. It takes self-awareness. And that's the same thing with fat shaming. When someone says something, if you're self-aware and you realize I'm not fat, I'm just a little plump right now, and I'm still active every day and having salads when I want.
And understanding that your worth is not defined by appearance or size.
Exactly.
Your worth is way more than what you look like and what size you are. You are worth 1,000% more than that.
Look over there.
Look over there.
That's the next one.
Yeah. Shifting focus. Right? When these conversations happen, shift the focus away from base judgment. Shift it back to health, especially when you're with a medical professional. Say, hey, doctor, I really love these suggestions, but can we get back to talking about healthy eating or what I could do with my nutrition or what? Like,
if you have a path you want to go into, yeah, they might suggest something and say, you know what, that's not for me
are
right
there
now.
other options?
I love the suggestion. What other options do you have? And there's ways to lead the conversation on and not taking your first answer. And it's funny that a lot of us will do that with like a vacation, we'll plan a vacation. I'm not gonna take no, we'll be okay doing or buying a house, buying a house. We're so particular about everything, but if it's our health, we'll just sit there and let them tell us
why is that. It's again, right, there are certain professions out there that we as civilians don't like to like what's the word I'm looking for, like to I can't think of the word. Like to not confront. That's not the word I'm looking for. But question. Like we'll never question them. Doctors, police officers.
No, we might question them sometimes.
Not as often.
Because
again,
you don't go in jail.
It's that fear, right?
Yeah.
They bring on these fear. Teachers even.
Yeah,
teachers
when you were a kid.
Even when you were a kid.
Yeah.
So, and that's society who's brought that on. These people, once again, we've said this over. They are just like you. They might have gone to school longer.
Or different schooling than you went.
Than you, but they're still human beings who make mistakes.
Did you make a mistake at work one time? You transferred something wrong? Well, they can make a mistake at work too. It's right? They're human. They're not robots.
And we sometimes automatically, we think, as humans, we often think we're the only person on this earth. I'm not going to lie. I do sometimes, right? I'm in my own little bubble. So when I go see somebody else, I'm expecting to think, well, why am I not as important as I am for me? Like, in that mindset when they have things happening in their lives too. And I'm not trying to give them excuses because sometimes a spade is a spade no matter what. But keep that in consideration when you are having those thoughts.
The next one is that one. Mm-hmm. Be inclusive and diverse. So embracing who you are at any shape, any size, any weight. And that's the thing that we're trying to learn. We're still learning it. And you know what?
I'm going to be bringing it even further than that. Embrace others who are at different sizes and different weights. Go follow those lovely people who feel comfortable in their skin no matter what and are like shining and saying, look at me. I'm big. I'm beautiful. I love who I am. And if you don't like it, too bad. Too bad. Follow those people because those are the people that are going to bring you joy. Those are the people that are going to make you happy. Don't get me wrong. There are still many people out there who are, and I hate using the word normal weight, but at a thinner size than me, who are still very supportive of anybody in any size. Because as long as you are active, you are taking care of yourself, and you are loving yourself, that's what creates you. That's who you are as a person, right? And creating these inclusive spaces, having people from all walks of life, of all cultural backgrounds, of all religions, of all sexual orientation, having all of us come together as a unit only makes us stronger and makes us realize that there is so much beauty out there because of our differences. Not because we all look like cookie cutters from the same mold. Because if this world was a cookie cutter world, it would be flippin' boring.
I would not want to be the world full of me.
I don't know how many times I go into a newer neighborhood, and if I see the cookie cutter style houses, I'm like, I don't think I can live here. Everything looks too much the same. But when I go into a neighborhood that has variety of different style houses, I just see like.
If the style is all the stuff I love, it's still like.
But there's always I like
imagine it's the style we like. We've seen townhouses like that.
True, but in the sense that it's still that concept of diversity and having multiple different things in front of you really makes you realize how rich every single one of us is.
Exactly.
And how much we can all contribute to this place we call life, this thing we call life, right?
So we've talked about a few ways to handle fat shaming now already tonight. So we said, first of all, we can set boundaries for yourself.
Look for support.
Look for support. Look for someone to talk to about it. Like someone reached out to us to have this conversation talked about this evening. So there's an example right there. Practice self-care. So we do that every day. Step classes. going for a walk, nourishing yourself with healthy foods.
As much as the step classes are there in our minds to help us lose weight, I'm not lying. It's a lot more there for the mental health than it is for the weight loss in certain aspects of it.
Practice positive affirmations instead of constant negative self-talk. And we've talked about this before, about the pausing and when you're speaking to yourself, before you stand on a scale, before you stand on there, normally a lot of us have the negative self-talk. We say, oh, I probably gained this, or I probably, no, talk about the good things you've done that week. And don't talk about a number. Talk about the positives and then stand on that scale. And that happens to everything in life. If something negative is coming towards you, find a way to spin it into a positive, because no matter what, the negativity, all it does is it affects you. It doesn't affect that person who's trying to make you feel negative. That bully who's bullying you could care less how you feel. That's why they're doing it. It's how you're affected by it that really affects you in life. So if you can learn, and it's not always easy, but if you can learn to have a way to just cope with these things and realize that, you know what? I have my family. I have my friends. I have the people who love me. I have my community. It doesn't matter. There's no way the whole world will love me. There's no way I can be the person that the entire world will love. It's not possible.
But I need to love myself. And
maybe Betty White was that person, but
and is this funny? There's a little thing that a drag queen used to say, and her name's Jinx Monsoon. She's won a few times. You might have heard of her. And her famous saying on the show was every time before the judges would judge her, critique her for her performance of the week was, and you'd hear her whisper, "Water off a duck's back, water off a duck's back, water off a duck's back, water off a duck's back." Yep. Meaning, you know what? All of the comments these people are making towards me, I'm just gonna let it drip off of me. I'm not gonna let these comments hurt me. I am stronger than that. These are their opinions on me, but I know I'm not exactly what they think because they don't know me. They don't know everything I'm going through. So that really, maybe water off a duck's back, not a good example for you.
Create your own term.
That when you get those comments that get thrown at you, to make you automatically go, I'm not going to let this bother me. I'm not, because saying those words might not help you. If it is as simple as that, just say, not going to bug me, not going to bug me, not going to bug me. And if you need to repeat that in your head over and over again, do it.
I will later tonight.
Do it. I'll always bug you. Always bug you.
And another thing you want to do is advocate for change. Yeah. And this is what we're doing, talking about it.
Speak out against the stigma.
Yeah, like talk about it. Be proud of who you are, no matter where you are on your wellness journey.
We talk about how important it is to make mental health a healthy conversation, right? We're not supposed to shy away from, oh, I'm having a mental health day anymore. Don't shy away from that. Same thing with the fat shaming. Don't shy away from saying, hey, guess what? Yeah, someone made a comment. It really hurt me the other day, but I thought it through. I thought it through and made a change. I made it a positive for myself instead of a negative, right? Support organizations and campaigns that help combating this whole stigma that's out there, right? Finding organizations that are, healthy living organizations that believe in what you believe in. Our community is one of them. We never want anyone to feel shamed for their weight or the decisions they make. We don't want people to be rude in the community either. We just want to have a peaceful community. We do. And we know it's not always easy. And we get those times where people won't get along or will agree. But I would rather see people agree to disagree and move forward than causing a bigger issue about it. Right? So
I think we talked about this already.
We did.
So I think we've covered most of the topic today in terms of what we wanted to talk to you all about. And one of the last things I think we want to leave you all on is that it's okay also to feel hurt. We're not saying that these comments that are said to you are not going to not cause you to feel pain. We're not saying, forget the pain, I'm always strong. No. What we're saying is, yeah, it might hurt, but dwelling on that pain won't lead you anywhere. It'll just lead you to more of a dark. If you take the moment to talk to yourself out of that darkness of that comment said to you, or that thing that was bugging you, and you can change the narrative in your own mind, that's what matters.
And I'm going to admit to something, and I don't know if this is anybody else, but this is me. A lot of times when I've been fat shamed or made comments about myself by somebody else, and they hurt me, you know why? Because I said them to myself. How often has a comment been said by somebody else? And you're like, I can't believe they said that to me.
I just said it last Tuesday.
You said it to yourself.
I said it at 5 a.m.
many a times, right? But yet when you say that comment to yourself, It never hurts you. You don't, you're like, oh yeah, it's so true, it's true. But when somebody else says it to you, all of a sudden it hurts. So maybe we need to start realizing that if we're fat shaming ourselves, it should be hurting us too. So stop looking at yourself in the mirror and saying you're ugly. Stop saying you're fat. Stop saying I need to do this. Stop saying that stuff.
Not worth it.
Because if you're saying it to yourself and you're letting others hurt you, you should be way more hurt because you've been doing it to yourself for how long? So on that note, love yourself.
Be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself. Understand people are going to say things no matter where you are in your journey that are going to be hurtful. At times, those people won't know what they were saying. They might say it because they're going through their own situation. At times, they're doing it because they don't know what else to say. But you know what? Let it roll off and move forward in the journey that you know is working for you. And go look for a second opinion and go find those people that will rise you up for who you are and not for what you look like.
And that's what we're doing now. Jean-Luc and I this year are traveling around, visiting different cities. And we just added a Windsor walk. We're probably going to do something in Sudbury at some point this year as well. That's my hometown. So we're just traveling around, having fun, and waiting for other people to come join us and have fun with us. That's basically what we're doing this summer. If no one shows up, we're still going to have fun. We don't care. We're still going to have a good time. It's you guys that are missing out and not coming and join us. So we're never hurt by it. So literally, that's the way it is. We used to do, it's true. It's very honest, everybody. We used to do all these things on our own. We started sharing our walks and our things with everyone because we thought, hey, maybe someone wants to join us. And if you have more people, it makes it more fun for us too. Yeah. But if no one shows up, we're still going. It doesn't matter. We're still doing the event, and that's why we're just expanding for those of you who want to do something, who are free that weekend. Mm-hmm. And some people reach out, like I'll say it. Joyce reached out to us saying, "Oh, I'm so sad. I can't join for the walk next week. I'm working." That's okay. We'll come back to Windsor again. It's okay if you don't join us on the walk. We'll still love you if you can't make an event. You can't make step class. It's just a way for us to extend the invitation so you guys can have fun with us because we love having fun with people. We love having fun together, but it's fun with extra people along the way because then we laugh even more. And that's what makes the events memorable. Because now I know when I did this event, who was there for that event? Yep. When I did this event, who was there for that event, and it creates specific memories with each person at those events. I still remember being in the stairs with Katrina and Marianne and catching up to Nisha, and I don't remember, it was Nisha and no, Heather. It was Heather. I caught Nisha and Heather at one point. I still remember that. I still remember us doing the edge walk and looking up and seeing people waving at us from the top. I still remember last year's zoo walk where we had people join us along the way and then take an exit. And then we had people join it, and we had various different people throughout the day. Some of us walked the whole park. We have all these memories because we've done this, all of you in different ways. We have vacation trips, all of these things. So feel free to join us when you want. Don't feel obligated to join us with anything. Don't feel like you need to apologize to us if you can't join us. We're always going to keep doing these things. This is what brings us joy in life. That's what feeds our souls. And I guess that's what I wrote.
That's what you wrote.
So we're going to end the live feed. For those of you in Zoom, stick around for the word of the day. And we will see you all tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for Step Advanced on Zoom. Come on.
Join it.
Come on. You can join us. You know you want to.
You don't need a step.
You don't need a step.
Bye, everybody out there.